if someone wants to have a profession for which they are compassionate, they have the qualities for it, but due to some circumstances, their marks or some aptitude doesn't let them have that profession. So what should a person do? Should they give it up, or should they still pursue it?
No, if possible, you pursue that. If it is impossible, then change it. You know, I always say, you love what you do, or do what you love. Supposing you can't do what you love what you do.
Sir,
It's
my problem is that I think I would love what the profession has to offer, but I don't love studying. So the problem is that I
didn't get the last part of the sentence.
I don't like to study, but
Yes.
I think I would love what the profession has to offer in the future. So that is my concern.
Go on. What is wrong?
But
Why is it?
studies is the main problem.
Oh, study is the problem. Without study also you can get into the same profession.
Sir, what if someone wanted to be a doctor, but they were not good at studies?
You want to be a doctor.
I wanted to be a doctor.
You wanted to be a doctor.
Yes.
Why even now you can be a doctor? You can change it and go to the medical school now. What is wrong? Nothing is wrong.
The eligibility criterias and all that's pulling me back.
Get into other system. Go to the Ayurvedic college. They'll take you. You become a doctor. What's it? Don't have any holier than the attitude towards Ayurveda. Ayurveda is a very holy science. As a matter of fact, it's much better than Western science.
Yes, sir. Agree.
But unfortunately, even the so-called educated people have a low opinion about Ayurveda. I was lecturing in another IIT, actually IIT Mumbai. And I was talking about various things in the medical field and incidentally mentioned Ayurveda as a science. So one professor, senior professor, got up and said, I liked your lecture, but I hate you because you say Ayurveda is science. Then I told him, I'm sorry, sir. A person who doesn't know what Ayurveda is still a professor in IIT. I have a very low opinion about the IIT, I told him. Okay?
Okay, thank you, sir.
Good luck. You become a good doctor.
Thank you, sir.
And if you still don't succeed, take homeopathy. Homeopathy is a great science. Homeopathy is a science of energy. And homeopathy is not hocus pocus or placebo. As a matter of fact, everything is placebo. Even Western medicine is placebo only. It all works on faith. Yes. If you think that the medicine works, it works. If you think that the medicine doesn't work, it doesn't work.
Thank you so much, sir.
Actually, they did a study in Oxford. They gave a drip of morphia, which is the best painkiller, to patients with severe cancer pain, and told the patient while giving the thing, this is not morphine, this is just a new vitamin we have found, it will not relieve your pain. No patient got pain relief with the morphia running intravenously, remember that? Then they took him to the other side called crossover study. They started saline drip, salt water, and told the patient, this is morphia, and your pain will go. 98% of the pain went. So it's all in the mind. Then they were surprised as to what they're saying. So they did an fMRI, MRI of the brain, functional MRI of the brain while they're doing the study. And what they found was, when the patient believed, remember the word believed that it is morphine, the forebrain produced so much of opioids that the pain went off. When the patient did not believe that it is morphine, the brain slept and nothing happened. So ultimately the relief comes from your own system, from your own immune system, not from others. And that's the belief. And I'll give you a book you read called Timeless Healing by a man called Herbert Benson in Harvard. And Timeless Healing tells you that all healing is belief. Even to the extent surgery is belief. Probably you think, what is he talking about? They are cutting the patient. It's belief. They did a bypass surgery by just cutting the skin and then said we have done bypass surgery. He got relief. They have not even gone to the chest. Okay?
Placebo. Thank you, sir.
Sir, here.
Good afternoon, sir. My name is
Good afternoon, ma.
My name is Mylin.
What?
Mylin.
Myelin.
Yes.
Myelin sheath.
No. Actually, I wanted to ask you a question. When you go for a job, for example, the first thing they tell you once you're hired, what you studied, keep it aside and now learn what we are going to teach you. Because generally our education system, what we learn, for example, in physics, or we are all learning something which was used long ago, and today what we're using it is all nano. So like, what's the use? Learn what we're currently using. Yes, I know that you need to have a background history of what is learned, but teach what is currently being used. Like, I just don't find it, a connection to it. Like, we are made to learn, give exams on that, but when it comes to a job, it's completely different.
No, no. When the education system changes, the interviewer also changes. So he will also understand, he or she will understand that the new system takes only this kind of things.
No, for example, if you see the kids today, if you expect a child to pass till the 8th standard, you're passing him to go till the 10th, and then suddenly in 11th and 12th, you want him to know everything about science. Like, how it's possible for a child who's not done basic things in chemistry or physics, and you expect him to know physics, chemistry, even with the concepts what is taught in masters?
No, no. See, it all depends on how you teach. You can teach, even supposing you're teaching chemistry for the first time in 11th class, you can start from the basics of chemistry and teach, no harm done.
But
You ask some of the chemistry teachers, they know how to do that.
we lack good teachers at times. We lack good teachers at times because everyone is running to complete the portion.
Oh, for portion be blown. That's why I said that's the worst part of education. Portion, this, that, bullshit. What is a portion in education? What's the whole thing is a portion. You know, they say, sir, what's the portion in medical college? I said, sky is the limit. Where is the portion? I have not understood a human body even today at this stage. Lady done?
Yeah, thank you.
Good girl.
Sir, you said,
MPI DNS, yes.
Yeah. In your lecture, you said, all the medicines are same. No,
All the medicines are same, I didn't say that.
Yeah, I mean, medicines
All the
are
medicines have faith in heal.
Yeah. No, I just want to know what is the after effect of Ayurvedic and the English medicine, one and the same?
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's only a question of time.
So there won't be any problem of having, Ayurvedic in case of, English medicine or English medicine?
I told you which you didn't, you missed the part of this. This is what happens, if what I said in the beginning is, what is important is to find out what the disease is. Medicine is not important. If you find out what the disease is, and most of the time, the disease corrects itself. Medicine is only a placebo. You know placebo? In Latin it means I please. Just to please the mind, to have faith. Okay?
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter what medicine it is. It's a placebo.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, ma.
My name is Smita Matthew.
Smita.
Yes, sir.
Good name.
Thank you, sir. Well, sir, I've had the privilege of listening to you when you came as a NAC auditor in D.Y. Patil University in 2009.
My God.
I work with them, and one of my former
I have
colleagues...
forgotten that.
So one of my colleagues is now here, and that's how I'm here. So once again, sir, thank you so much for such a beautiful talk.
Thank you.
Sir, I want to ask
Was
you
it as
that-
good as 2009?
So that was in context to the betterments that you suggested to us as a university, how we could have gone ahead. This
Okay.
is totally different, and it has been very engaging. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
So my question to you is, we are a lot of teachers here. You have been a prolific teacher, okay?
I don't know. Anyway.
I
Thank
have heard so, sir.
I have been a
belong to
teacher for
Chennai.
half a century, yes.
Okay.
Teaching is in my blood.
Okay, so that be so. I would want to know, sir, as a teacher, what are maybe 2 to 3 very essential tips you would like to give the current teachers?
Number one, a teacher is must be a very good student. Teacher must know the subject as much as possible, because you go and expose yourself to the students, you should be able to answer questions, number one. Number two, teacher must love his or her students, not in the literal sense of the word, but in the compassionate sense. Number three, teacher must be a good example to students. You can't preach something and practice something else. Students look through you as a teacher. I've seen teachers saying in the class, don't smoke and all, and then going to the office room and then smoking there. Then students see that. A lot of parents who drink at home alcohol, and when the son comes, they say, hey, do your homework, go. That child will have curiosity. He doesn't believe you after that. He will steal some money from your pocket, go to the club and drink. So don't do that. You must be very honest. You must walk your talk. That's the Indian culture. Vakevam kritayevam sajjanam, vakaivam kritayevam durjanam. You know what culture is? Culture is not about dancing and literature and all. Culture is what you do when no one looks at you. So if you do something in private, you must do the same thing in public. So you must preach what you practice. Then students will have faith in you.
Thank you so much, sir.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, ma.
Good afternoon.
Where are
sir.
you? Doesn't matter, good afternoon or good
I'm
morning,
here.
because you know in the English system you say good morning when it's the morning. In American system you say good morning whenever you see a person. In the evening also you say good morning for the first time. Go on. Oh yes, I see you now with the red dupatta. Go on.
Sir, my question was, you just said that it is what you believe. So, regarding the morphine example what you gave, so
About what?
the morphine, I guess, I don't know, I'm not much science. Yeah. The
Morphine exam, yes.
Yeah. So if I'm so sorry. I was just saying, so what if I believe that something doesn't harm me? Will it not harm me then?
If you believe strongly that it doesn't harm you, it doesn't harm you. Certainly not. Definitely not.
So I overthink a lot. So that means if I think it's not harming me, I'm just overthinking. So
That's
no
right.
harm.
But don't overthink. You must believe, not just think. Thinking is different from believing.
Yes, sir. Thank
Okay.
you. Yeah. Thank you, sir.
Good girl.